148 back with another stream for you. And today, guys, of course, indeed, I'm going to be indeed live, of course, for the FA Cup first round draw. So, yeah, but hang on 1 second. I'm just gonna see if I can try and sort out one thing. Just see if I can try and sort out. Yeah, so anyway, yeah. So anyway, indeed, I am live for the FA Cup first round draw. So, yeah, and that is due to start indeed. Due to start any moment now. So, yeah, I'm just hoping indeed we get a decent draw out of this, guys. SWS Boxing, hello to you, mate. Hope you're doing well, of course. I hope you're doing well, of course, today. Really hope you're doing. Really hope you've had a good day so far. But anyway, yeah. So indeed, of course, I'm live for the FA Cup. Yeah, here for the FA Cup. First round draw. Hang on. I'm hoping for Reading versus Woking, but Woking have to be Brackley Town tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if Reading do get Woking, I mean, that'd be an interesting game because that wouldn't actually be too far for me, actually. Yeah, I could literally just get a train and be in Woking within like half an hour, 45 minutes. So, yeah, it wouldn't be too long for me, train journey-wise. So, yeah, but anyway, I'm hoping at least for a decent cup draw. So, yeah, of course, they're saying that the draw is due to be starting within the next few moments. So yeah, I'm hoping indeed it is. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think I probably did. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go, guys. Did the first round draw. It's literally about to get underway. I'm hoping Reading get a decent first round draw. I'm just hoping it's not away to anyone ridiculous. I'm just hoping it's not like the Carlisle or Wigan Athletic or anyone ridiculous from up north. Here we go, guys. The first round draw is underway. And we've got Western Supermare. Western Supermare versus Aldershot Town. That's the first tie there. Or non-league tie. Number 40. There, of course, Salford City versus Lincoln City. Oh, that should be a tough one for Salford. Lincoln, they've done well so far this season. Oh, Luton Town out. Okay. So who will Luton take on? And Luton will be facing either the winners of tonight's game, Worthing or Forest Green Rovers. Oh, that should be a very interesting tie for either Worthing or Forest Green Rovers. Of course, against Luton Town. That should be a very interesting tie, especially from fans. Yeah. So we've got Gainsborough Trinity or Hartlepool United. Of course, that game goes to a replay against Accrington Stanley. Okay, we got number 16, Colchester United of League Two. And they will be taking on MK Dons. Number 45, that's Tranmere Rovers of League Two. Oh, against Stockport. Interesting tie there. So we've got Wigan Athletic, so they're out. Oh, Wigan Athletic versus Hemel Hempstead Town. Okay, we got Newport County. So Newport versus Gillingham, an all League Two tie there. 14. That is Cheltenham Town. Cheltenham Town versus Bradford City. Oh, Bradford City do done a very strong start to the season, currently second place there. And of course, it will be Barnsley of League One out. And they'll be taking on number 53, York City. Well, number 38. Yes, we got a home tie against. Oh, we should win that. We should win that. A home tie against Carlisle. Bring it on. Bring it on, I say. Bring it on. A home tie against Carlisle. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, of course, we've just got Bromley versus Bristol Rovers there. Okay, so indeed, there's Peterborough out, of course, against Cardiff City. $34. We've got Oldham Athletic. And they will be taking on Northampton Town. Okay, we got Crewe Alexandra. And they'll be taking on Doncaster Rovers. Crewe Alexandra versus Doncaster Rovers there. Number 57. Okay, so we got Tamworth. Or Tamworth versus Leyton Orient. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we got Stevenage. Oh, Stevenage versus Chesterfield. That should be an interesting tie. Yep. Okay, number 68. Wood of the National League. They'll be taking on. Oh, so they're welcoming Crawley Town. So we got number 80. We got Sutton United. And they'll be taking on. They're taking on AFC Telford United. So Farnham Town or Sutton United versus AFC Telford United. Okay, so we got Bolton Wanderers. So Bolton Wanderers will be facing Huddersfield Town. Oh, we got number 77, Chelmsford City. And they will be taking on Braintree Town. Okay, number 60. Of course, we've got Spennymoor Town. And they will be facing off against League Two Barrow. It's a long trip that for Barrow. It's a trip down south for Barrow. Okay, so we got Wickham Warriors. On. Oh, Wickham Wanderers versus Plymouth Argyle. Now that should be interesting. So we've got SC Halifax Town out here. And they'll be taking on Exeter City. Oh, number 67. Okay, we've got Slough Town. Oh, that should be interesting. Who's Slough got? And they'll be taking on Earl Trigger Harborough Town because that game needs to go to a replay. Number 66. That is so we got Wilston out. They'll be taking on number 70. And they'll be taking on Southend United, number 70. Okay, number 39. We got Rotherham United. You don't want to face them. Don't want to take on them. And Rotherham United will be taking on Swindon Town. Number 23, that is Grimsby Town. Yeah. Oh, Grimsby Town versus Ebbsfleet United. Of course, Grimsby Town currently fifth in League Two right now. Okay, so we've got Buxton. And Buxton will be taking on Chatham Town. Okay. Okay, we got Burton Albion currently struggling in League One right now, right down the relegation zone. And they'll be taking on number 76, Banbury United or St Albans City. That game, of course, goes to a replay. Okay, number 65. So we got Woking or Brackley Town because they got a home tie against Notts County of League Two. Oh, that is a big one. That's a big game, that, for either Woking or Brackley. Okay, number 6, Blackpool. Not doing very well. And Blackpool will be taking on Scunthorpe United. Okay, number 12, that's Cambridge United. Of course, they knocked out Newcastle, of course, last few seasons. And Cambridge United will be facing either Morecambe or Chester. That game, indeed, is going to a replay. Okay, we've got AFC Wimbledon. And AFC Wimbledon will be facing Gateshead of the National League. Number 29, Field Town of League One, because we drew to them quite recently. And they'll be taking on number 24, Harrogate Town. So Mansfield Town versus Harrogate. Number 50, we got Macclesfield. And Macclesfield will take it on AFC Tottenham or Truro City. That game, of course, go to replay. Okay, next one, number 56, South Shields. And they'll be taking on League Two Shrewsbury Town. Interesting tie there. Number 21 is Fleetwood Town of League Two. Now they'll be taking on League Two Barnet. Yeah, number 37. We've got Port Vale, and Port Vale will be facing number 64, Morden and Tiptree. So we have got of course, the last two is indeed Eastleigh of the National League, and they're taking on number 46, and that will be Warsaw. And there we go. That is the first round draw done, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so there we go. So there we go. That is the first round draw for the 2025-26 FA Cup season. So let me just remind you, ladies and gentlemen, of what we are looking at, of course, in the way of the FA Cup for the. So what we're looking at, of course, for the FA Cup, we are looking at, of course, on the first, and of course, these ties, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, will be taking place on the 1st and 2nd of November. And those ties are, we've got AFC Wimbledon versus Gateshead, Barnsley versus York City, Blackpool versus Scunthorpe United, Bolton Wanderers versus Huddersfield Town, Boreham Wood versus Crawley Town, Bromley versus Bristol Rovers, Burton Albion. Yeah, of course, Burton Albion, of course, they were drawn. Of course, Burton Albion. Who do they face again? I think Burton Albion, they got someone, but it needs to come up on BBC Sport as TBC. I'm guessing it's one of those ones that needs to be decided, I guess. Yes, so yeah, I'm just yeah. Of course, Burton Albion, they'll be taking on either Banbury United or St Albans City. That's why there's a TBC. Buxton, of course, they got Chatham Town, and Cambridge United, they, of course, have got. They've got, of course, Morecambe or Chester. Colchester, Chelmsford City, of course, they take on Braintree Town. Cheltenham Town versus Bradford City. Colchester United versus MK Dons. Crewe Alexandra versus Doncaster Rovers. Eastleigh versus Walsall. Fleetwood Town versus Barnet. Grimsby Town versus Ebbsfleet United. Halifax Town versus Exeter City. Luton Town, of course, versus either Worthing or Forest Green Rovers. Of course, that game indeed takes place later on tonight. Of course, Macclesfield Town. Of course, Macclesfield Town, they'll be taking on AFC Tottenham or Truro City. We've got Mansfield Town versus Harrogate Town. Newport County versus Gillingham. Oldham versus Northampton Town. Peterborough versus Cardiff City. Port Vale versus Malden Tiptree. Reading versus Carlisle United. Rotherham versus Swindon. Salford versus Lincoln City. Slough Town, of course, Slough Town, they'll be taking on. Of course, Slough Town. Of course, they'll be taking on either Altrincham or Harborough Town. That game goes to a replay. Got South Shields versus Shrewsbury Town. Spennymoor Town versus Barrow. Stevenage versus Chesterfield. Woking or Brackley, they'll take on Notts County. Of course, Farnham Town or Sutton United, they'll take on AFC Telford United. Yeah, Gainsborough Trinity or Hartlepool United, they'll take on Accrington Stanley. Tamworth, of course, versus Leyton Orient. Tranmere Rovers versus Stockport County. Wilston versus Southend United. Weston-super-Mare versus Aldershot Town. Wigan Athletic versus Hemel Hempstead Town. And Wigan Wanderers versus Plymouth Argyle. So those are the fixtures, of course, for the FA Cup first round. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, those ties indeed will be taking place on the 1st and 2nd of November. So, yeah, indeed, interesting ties there, I have to say. But indeed, if we're looking at them, I think some of these ties could actually be quite interesting, especially for some of the non-league sides. Of course, indeed, of course, we got Scunthorpe United, of course, travelling to Blackpool. So that's actually not a bad tie for them, considering the way Blackpool are right now. I mean, Blackpool currently 23rd in League One. So, yeah, really, if you're a Scunthorpe fan, I think you'd accept that. I think, indeed, that's a great tie. That's a great tie for you there. I think that's a very interesting tie there. And also another tie that indeed should be a very interesting one, of course, is Bolton versus Huddersfield. Of course, Bolton indeed not exactly been great recently, especially, of course, really considering the fact that indeed they're really right down towards the bottom of the table. They're really not exactly having a good start, of course, to this season. It really hasn't been a great start for them. Also, of course, Eastleigh taking on Walsall. I mean, indeed, we've seen it before. Eastleigh indeed knock out some big teams, of course, in the early rounds. So indeed, maybe they can do it again, of course, against Walsall. Of course, AFC Halifax Town, because you got a tricky one there against Exeter City. Of course, Exeter City, really good team there. Really good team there. Of course, Malden and Tiptree, indeed, that is a really tough tie for them, of course, against Port Vale. I mean, that is a really tricky tie there. Also, you can, for them, you can also say the same thing for South Shields, of course, taking on Shrewsbury Town. I mean, South Shields really got a tricky one there. Really got a tricky one there against Shrewsbury. And the same thing can be said for Spennymoor Town, because they got a tricky one against Barrow. Also, Tamworth, of course, they're taking on Leyton Orient. There. And also, Hemel Hempstead Town, of course, they have really got a tricky one against former FA Cup winners Wigan Athletics. So, indeed, some tricky ties there. So, yeah, some really, really tricky ties there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, of course, indeed, please do let me know, of course, down in the comments, what did you think, of course, of the draw? Did you get indeed that side that you'd been hoping you'd get? Or indeed, of course, did you get someone maybe you've been trying to avoid? Please do let me know in the comments. And also let me know, are you pleased with, of course, who you got in the first round? Of course, you're pleased who you got, of course, in the first round. Please do let me know also down in the comments. And also, guys, please do like this. Please do like the stream and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, guys, of course, I will see you all indeed in the next stream. This is Football Fan 148 signing out. I'll see you later.